Hello, my name is Emmett Stone and this is a Word Facts video. The focus for today will be the connotations toward vocal fry. Dialects, and languages generally, are one of the best ways that people have to express a sense of identity within a community. Conversely, however, this can act as a way for people to divide themselves. For example, this can be as serious as with Serbian and Croatian, which some linguists would consider only separate dialects, but are generally considered different languages for political reasons. However, they can also be as inconsequential as just simply having an idea of how somebody speaks from the town next over. Vocal fry is a low-pitched, characteristically creaky way of speaking as a result of part of the larynx being drawn closer together. It's the difference between the man walk the dog and the man walk the dog. A dialect can also be an ethnolect, meaning that rather than attaching the dialect to a region, it is attached to an ethnic group. This can be seen, for instance, with African American English. Vocal fry, however, is not a feature of one or even a few select dialects, and instead most English speakers will use vocal fry on some level, but it is associated largely with young, urban, educated American women in a way that is often highly critical. In this way, vocal fry can be thought of as a feature of a sort of ethnolect. Vocal fry, sometimes also called creaky voice, laryngealization, pulse phonation, or glottal fry, may sound hoarse and scratchy to some, but only when it's observed consciously. It's totally normal to use, and most of the time it goes unnoticed. What separates vocal fry from other features that distinguish dialects, however, is that it's not used regularly. So for instance, somebody who would use the suffix for the present progressive forms of verbs would do so consistently. That is to say, the ing at the end of verbs like run in the present progressive form would either be running or runnin', but it would not alternate. With vocal fry, however, there is not the same consistency from the words that are used with vocal fry, or even the parts that are used of those same words with vocal fry from person to person, or even from the same person. Despite the lack of a serious linguistic trend, and despite the lack of having a certain people group who use it specifically, given that almost everybody will use it in some way or another, it is said of vocal fry that it makes people, particularly women, sound, quote, less competent, less educated, less trustworthy, less attractive, and less hireable, end quote. Ultimately, this goes beyond the associations that people have with language itself, and is an example of how language is tied to culture or people generally, whether or not it always makes sense to do so. Furthermore, what makes this claim even less reasonable is that while it is said to sound less educated, it is also associated with young, educated women in urban areas. This confusion that it should sound less educated but be associated with educated women, well noted by linguists, shows the way in which people hold opinions about pronunciation and dialects without necessarily basing them on evidence or logic. While there is nothing wrong with simply noting the differences in the way people talk, it is when people make judgments about others because of the way they speak when this becomes problematic. Thank you. Some of the script for this video was based off of a Word Facts blog post from a couple of weeks ago. If you'd like to check out more from the original blog, you can click the link down below, or you can click the Patreon link for even more content. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you.